All right, YouTube. Oh shoot, my bad. YouTube, bro. We got another reaction, nigga. You feel me? And we got another Ray William Johnson, bro, video. And this one is called "This Child Actor Turned Evil." Oh Lord, we got another guy who turned evil, who did some criminal shit. Oh, it says Skylar Precia, whatever. I'm gonna say Skylar. Skylar is an American convicted murderer of a former child actor who was sentenced to death for in 2024. Oh wow! So that's the guy who got sentenced to death in 2004. That's crazy. Oh Lord. Oh Lord. That is crazy. That is crazy.
So why did this former Power Rangers actor go crazy and try and cut off his own dick? Yes, this really happened. And it all starts with this guy, Skylar. And Skylar is around 25 when all this begins, and he's living in Long Beach, California. And Skylar, he's a former child actor. He did a couple of commercials. He had a few lines on the original Power Rangers series. You can see him right here. He was still a kid.
If I had to practice, I would be captain of the team.
Bro, my thing was shrimping the whole time, bro. Ain't no way he just. So he cut off his own thing. That's crazy. He cut off his own thing. Oh nah, hell nah.
But now Skylar is grown up, and he's no longer in the entertainment business, and he's become kind of a turd. Like, he's unemployed with a history of criminal behavior. He's been in and out of jail for various crimes. But none of that is actually Skylar's problem. See, Skylar's problem is that he's trans, and he wants to fully transition and have the full gender confirmation surgery.
So wait, what? He's trans. So you wanna? Oh no, come on, bro. What's wrong with You can't. It don't matter what gender you are. You can't switch. You can't switch, bro. If you was born like I say, you were born. If you was born a dick, you get you. It's staying there, bro. It's staying there. If you were born a dick, you can't change that, bro. You can't change the gender no matter what you do. That's in my opinion. It just don't matter what you do. Yeah, it don't matter what you do. If you try to change gender, if you was born a man, you was born a man. That's simple as that, bro. Cause like you tripping, dog.
But he can't do that because that surgery is expensive and Skylar is broke. But then one day in 2004, he finally gets the opportunity to make some money to pay for it. Because he's reading a boating magazine and he sees an ad for this 55-foot yacht that's for sale. That's around $440,000. And he starts thinking, man, if I had that kind of cash, I could be out of debt and I could get that surgery. And that is when Skylar gets an idea. What if he could just steal the yacht and sell it and make a bunch of money? So he goes to his wife, because I guess he's married, and he tells her about his plan to steal this boat so that he can...
Wait, huh? Wait, am I misunderstanding what's going on here? Cause like, oh, let me go back. He said, let me go back to when he said he was a trans or something.
But none of that is actually Skylar's problem. See, Skylar's problem is that he's trans, and he wants to fully transition and have the full gender confirmation surgery. But he can't do
Bro, okay.
that
I know I wasn't tripping.
Because he's reading a boating magazine and
like,
he sees an ad for this 55-foot yacht that's for sale. That's around $440,000. And he starts thinking, man, if I had that kind of cash, I could be out of debt and I could get that surgery. And that is when Skylar gets an idea. What if he could just steal the yacht and sell it and make a bunch of money? So he goes to his wife, because I guess he's married, and he tells her about his plan to steal this boat so that he can sell it and get his surgery. And I guess she's like, great idea, babe. And
Wait, so his girlfriend is okay with this? What the fuck, bro? So your girl is okay with this shit? Oh nah, bro. What the fuck is? His girl is cool with this. Bro, this is weird, bro. See, people be weird nowadays. Oh, have mercy.
And so now she's involved. Then he enlists a couple of goons that he knows to help him out. And so Skylar hits up the sellers of this yacht, and they're a married couple named Tom and Jackie. So he hits up Tom and Jackie, and they set up a time to meet and take the boat for a test drive. And so Skylar and the goons, they show up to the harbor in Newport Beach to meet up with these two, Tom and Jackie, and they all take the boat out. The name of the boat is actually Well Deserved, by the way. And so everything is going like a normal boat sail would. Well Deserved is sailing nicely, and everyone is chatting and having a good time, and the owners are probably excited that they might make a sale today. But then, suddenly, bam! Skylar and one of the goons overpowers Tom, and the other goon pulls out a stun gun, and he points it at Jackie. Then they handcuff both of them, and they drag Jackie to the kitchen. And Skylar threatens her with a gun, and they force her to sign some documents that give power of attorney over to Skylar. They also force her to sign a transfer of title to the yacht. Then they bring Tom, and they force him to do the same thing. So now, not only does Skylar and his wife have complete control over the yacht, but they have complete control of this couple's money and all their assets. After that, one of the goons grabs a bunch of rope that's attached to the boat's anchor, and they wrap it around the couple several times so that they really can't go anywhere. And eventually, the goon pushes them overboard, and Skylar throws the anchor in after them. And unfortunately, Tom and Jackie, of course, don't survive this, and they drown. Then, Skylar and the goons sail back to the harbor, and they dock the boat in its normal spot, and they all go their separate ways, and they go back to living their normal lives. Here's the thing, though. Before they all went on that test sail, the couple told a bunch of family and friends that they were taking the yacht out. Well, hours later, none of their family or friends have heard from them. So some of them start to realize something is very wrong. So a family member of Tom's brother, heads down to the harbor, and he finds the Well Deserved docked in its usual spot, but something feels off. Like it isn't tied up properly, and nothing on the boat is in its usual place. So he leaves a note on the boat asking whoever bought the yacht to call him. Later, Skylar's wife is on the boat, and she finds this note, and so she calls him. And of course, she makes up a whole bullshit story, acting all innocent. She says she saw Tom and Jackie drive away and that she hasn't heard from them since. And so about 2 weeks go by, and no one has heard from Tom or Jackie. So at this point, Tom's brother goes and he files a missing persons report. So now the police are involved, and they start investigating. And what little evidence they have keeps leading them back to Skylar, the person who supposedly bought the boat from them, the person who they supposedly transferred all their assets to right before they disappeared. So they bring him in and they question him. But Skylar just lies and he tells them that he bought the boat in cash. That's why there's no record of payment for it, and that after the sale, he hasn't seen them. So now police are at a dead end with their investigation because they've got no real evidence against Skylar or anyone. So it looks like he might have just gotten away with a double homicide. Until a few weeks later, police bring Skylar back in to question him again. Because just a lot of things in his story just aren't adding up. Exactly. So they start pushing back on some of the plot holes he's been leaving them. But their biggest question is, how does a turd like Skylar, someone broke, someone unemployed, someone who has to live in a converted garage because he can't afford a real apartment, how does someone like that suddenly have $440,000 in cash to buy a luxury yacht? So Skylar makes up a very elaborate lie.
Thinking, and they need to start thinking a little bit more. If it's not adding up, don't. I know they ain't have enough evidence, but y'all shouldn't give up like that. That's all I gotta say.
And he claims that he was heavily involved in an out-of-state drug trafficking ring, a gig that was very lucrative for him, and that's how he got the cash. It was illegally laundered drug money. Now, since this crime that he just totally made up is a major felony, bam, police arrest Skylar. Here's the thing, though. Back when Skylar and the goons forced Tom and Jackie to sign all that power of attorney paperwork, one of the goons signed his own name as a witness. Because, you need a witness to sign to complete the paperwork. So police are like, who the hell is this guy who signed this? And they start looking for him. Well, knowing the heat is on him, this goon eventually goes and he turns himself in. Not only that, but once he's in the interrogation room, he tells them everything about their whole plot to pretend to want to buy the yacht so that they could steal assets from Tom and Jackie, and of course, about the murder. And so, bam, they arrest the goon. Here's his mugshot. Also, bam, they arrest the other goon. Here's his. Also, bam, they arrest Skyler. Here's his mugshot. Also, bam, they arrest Jennifer. Here's hers.
The prosecutor has called Skyler DeLeon the best con man he's ever met. He and his wife were able to fool both veteran cops and the prosecutor, but only for a while.
Crazy.
And ultimately, the goon who cooperated gets sentenced to 20 years in prison. The other goon is sentenced to death. Skyler's wife is sentenced to life in prison, while Skyler is also sentenced to death. But there's more. While Skyler was in jail waiting for his trial, he still never got that gender reassignment surgery that he always wanted. And he still wants it real bad. So one day, he gets access to a smuggled-in razor blade, and he tries to do the surgery himself, in jail, by cutting off his own junk. And so anyway, he's rushed to the hospital, and they reattach it. But years later, in 2023, while in prison, he is finally able to get that surgery. And so now, she is still in prison, and she is living her best life, I guess, while still on death row.
Oh my God, bro. What's wrong? What's wrong with the gender you have right now, bruh? God damn.